Hey there, beautiful people. This is MentorShelly. I'm wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professional. We are talking tonight about virtual interviews. So what we are using now, of course, computers and phones and being over the phone, but being ready to take on these interviews to make sure that you are truly ready to enjoy. I'm sorry. Well, uh, some interviews are not enjoyable. That let's be clear. But I want you to be ready and make sure you're considering all the factors before going into that interview. All right, guys, stay tuned. All right, beautiful people. This is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally. We are actually talking tonight about virtual interviews and what you will need to do to get ready for them, and make sure that you have what it is you need, before even setting foot in one of them, because I don't want you to go there, or I don't want you to do one unprepared. All right, so let's dive in, shall we? Let's see here. All right, before we go in, if you are here in the live stream tonight, go ahead and drop a one, say hello. I promise I won't bite. We are very friendly and mannerable folk over here. Wanting to make sure if you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Say hello. We will be glad to assist you with any questions that you have as we are covering the information. Now, in today's digital world, virtual interviews have become the norm, especially in certain sectors. Whether you're applying for a remote job or just going through the first round of interviews online, nailing that interview is a must-have skill. That's not just for Gen Zers, but we're focusing on them tonight. But that's a skill for all of us, okay? Employers are expecting you to bring the same energy and professionalism as you do in person. But the added challenge is navigating technology, your virtual presence, and potential distractions. All right. If you want to stand out and secure that job offer, you are going to make sure that you have all of your techie stuff in play, as well as your regular interview, game face on. Okay. You see that picture of that young lady? She's ready to go and she has her stuff in place. All right, guys. Number one, do your tech check, folks. Make sure tech problems, of course, can make you look unprepared for even the perfect candidate. I can speak to this specific situation. I actually was doing it. Well, I had logged into the interview early, was getting ready for it, had all my ducks in a row, had my things in place, my cue cards, my questions ready, my portfolio ready, and the software that we were using to do the interview kicked me out literally 2 minutes before the interview started. So, of course, there's no way you can control that, but you want to do your ever dear best to prepare. Take time. If I were you, take at least an hour or two before the interview starts. Make sure you're testing the internet connection. Run a speed test, move closer to your router if necessary. If you have to plug directly into the router and not use the Wi-Fi, do it if you know that the connection is going to be stronger. Check your camera and your microphones. Do a test run using Zoom, Google Meet, whatever platform you're using, because there's a whole lot more platforms available, especially in 2025. Make sure the lighting is good, your headphones, if possible, reduce background noise, all of that stuff. You want to make sure that you take as much of the techie stuff out of the way so you can be ready to slay in this interview. All right. So make sure you address all the techie stuff up front, because if the techie stuff is not in place, the interview is not going to take place. All right. Dress the part. Hate to break it to y'all. Gen Z, of course, is known for their casual fashion, but do not get too relaxed in a virtual interview, folks. It is still an interview. Keep that mindset alive, even though you're at home or somewhere hopefully quiet and professional looking as far as the background is concerned. Make sure the dress code is dressed professionally from head to toe. It boosts your confidence and ensures that you're ready in case you need to stand up during the interview. You're not doing the the infamous stand up where the guy's dressed in a suit and tie on the bottom, and then he has pajama pants. I mean, on the top, and have pajama pants on the bottom. Please don't do that to yourself. Avoid distracting patterns and overly bright colors. Solid neutral tones work best for the camera. And grooming still counts, folks. Make sure your hair is neat. I mean, I shouldn't have to be telling grown folks this, but you'd be surprised. I see some people show up for interviews in my regular 9 to 5, and I'm like, you sure you come into an interview or you came to cut the grass? Because some people don't, unfortunately, still don't understand that they need to carry themselves professionally to an interview, even if it's virtual. So in person and virtual, same thing. The same level of professionalism needs to be displayed. So there's no qualms about that. Okay. Mastering your interview presence. Engaging in a virtual interview is more than just showing up. It's about owning the screen and commanding attention in a digital space. You want to make sure that you are showing up, you're asking questions, you're engaging, maintain eye contact, look directly into the camera, not at yourself on the screen, but in the camera eye where you see that little white dot or red dot, depending on what it is, that little light that's on your computer, or if you have a separate webcam, look straight into it and smile. Good posture. Use your natural gestures. Don't be afraid to use your hands while speaking, but keep the movements controlled. Just like when you're in a regular interview, guys, when you want to make sure that you are coming across professionally, but you are coming across natural. Can't be too stiff, then it's going to show that you're nervous. Relax. You're having a conversation. Yes, you're having a very lucrative conversation, we hope. But you want to make sure that you're having that conversation, and make sure, of course, that the dress code, your mannerisms are natural, but you're still maintaining your professionalism. Be ready for common virtual interview questions. This is not just unique to virtual interviews, it's unique to just interviews in general. Okay. Tell me about yourself. I have a video that I'm actually going to put in the show notes of this live, where I went through what it really means to tell me about yourself, because I go into detail about what the past, present, and future formula is, briefly describing your background, what you're doing now, and where you're heading in specifically regarding the position you're applying for. Not just brief in, focus on the background that's important to that particular job. Okay. Of course, how do you handle working remotely? Highlight your time management skills, self-discipline, experience using communication tools like Slack, Trello, Asana, of course, the meeting tools, the Microsoft tools, even the one that we're using right now to do this live, StreamYard, all of the things. Make sure you're communicating what your skills are. Describe a time where you resolved the problem under pressure. You can use the STAR method, or if you have a great story of what happened, or you make up one. If you don't have one, you make one up. Come on, people. This is where sometimes your creativity and your storytelling skills can definitely help you. Okay? Facts tell, but stories can sell your skills to an employer for a fee, because that's why you're doing an interview in the first place. All right. So be ready to describe how you solve problems. Remember, you are still in a job interview. So even though you're looking at a computer, that does not mean you see how she have her notes ready. I need you to have your notes ready. I prefer you not have coffee on the table, but That's neither here nor there. Please do your ever dear best to minimize distractions. Nothing says I am getting thrown off my kilter like you are on a call. I've been on live streams before. I've been on conference calls before, which has video. I've been on interviews before, and you have dogs everywhere that might be popping up, or somebody's walking a dog, and the second you're on that interview or the second you're on that live stream, the dogs decide to bark. I wouldn't be surprised if dogs start barking, because now we just said that the dogs are barking and they want to make sure that they want to get their voices heard too. Do your ever dear best to stay away from staying in the room, keeping your interview area quiet in a well-lit space. If the environment is noisy, use noise canceling software like Crisp. Make sure you have noise canceling headphones if you can use those, preferably not the ones that are bulky, but the ones that you can, put in your ear and it's not really seen. Use a simple professional background. Clean, neutral color walls are best. If that's not possible, use a subtle virtual background. If it's not professional in the backgrounds and you can't make a shift to somewhere, there's virtual backgrounds that you can use to look more professional. Those office looking ones in Zoom and in other webinar type platforms or softwares. Mute notifications on your phone and your computer while you're on this interview, because those little beeps and those little ticks can either throw you or the interviewer off. It's important to minimize all of the possible distractions while you are doing this interview. All right. Make sure none of those things are preventing you from communicating clearly, or for them to hear you, or for them to focus on the answers you're giving, or for them to be answering your questions. Have your questions ready, of course, to ask the interviewer. Please do not ever go into an interview. Let me come full blast on this screen. Although you're seeing my beautiful face here. Please don't ever go on an interview and not have questions. Please don't do that to yourself or to the people that you're or to the people that gave you a chance to interview with them. How in the world are you going to know if they're a best fit for you? Everybody has to, it's a mutually beneficial situation. You have to figure out if they're a good fit for you, and they have to figure out if you're a good fit for them. The only way you know that is by asking questions. So make sure you're asking the right type of questions. All right, so we're going to go back to that. Have questions ready. Never end an interview without asking smart, thoughtful questions that flow with the type of interview that you're in. Show your engagement and interest in the role. And there may be things that you did not discuss before, or they did not divulge that information. You want to ask things about, where is a company going? What does success look like in this role after 6 months? What are some of the things that they're looking to accomplish within the next 30, 60, 90 days that you and speak to the skills that you've already talked about and they know that you have, that my skills can help you accomplish faster. Listen, you got to be able to sell yourself, sweetheart. So make sure you're asking very thoughtful and very key engagement type of questions. How does the company support professional development and career growth? You want to ask these questions to make sure that if they do, do they have a budget for continuous development? Do they have a budget for continual education? Whether in a particular phase of your career, or you're in an industry that requires a lot of certifications, to maintain your certification, you require a lot of cert hours. So you want to make sure that they do provide that type of support. What kind of challenges are your team currently facing? What is it, how is my role going to help facilitate some of those challenges that you're having? You got to do follow-up questions, not just a regular base questions. These are some of the questions you have to have ready and asking when you're doing an interview, whether it's in front of them personally, direct, belly to belly, or you're having a virtual interview. In either case, you want to make sure you are ready as well, because you have to see if they're a fit just as much as they're seeing if you're a fit. Follow up with the employer like a pro, please. A virtual interview doesn't end when you close your laptop. Follow up is key to making a lasting impression. Okay, send a thank you email within 24 hours and make sure you mention specific points in the interview to personalize your message so they remember who you are and what you bring to the table. Express enthusiasm for the role and remind them of why you are a perfect fit. Okay, they're not going to know that if you do not remind them, or make sure that you speak to particular parts of your experience and expertise that is going to help solve a problem for them. Because at the end of the day, what does an employer want to know? How can you help me solve my problems? The more problems you solve, the bigger problems you solve, the more money that tends to pay. So it is important for you to follow up like a pro and remind them of why you are the perfect asset for their company, why they should hire you, why they're able to help. You're going to be able to help them. And of course, if you're looking for additional help, because I did drop some good gems in this particular situation, but if you're looking for additional help and you're looking for my help with coaching, interview coaching, you can go to calendly.com/MentorShelly3 and click on the interview and salary negotiation consultation. You're actually going to get both with both of those. Now, guys, it is your turn. What are some of the biggest challenges that you faced when you were in a virtual interview? Did the system kick out on you? Because it happened to me. Did the screen go blank all of a sudden halfway through the interview? Did you get a phone call, although you put your phone on silent? Did you get a phone call and it completely disrupt the interview? What were some of your challenges? Please leave the comments below or share that information with us here tonight. And of course, guys, I want to make sure that let's see here. I want to make sure if you're watching this video after it renders, go ahead and like the video, share it with somebody that it can find the information helpful. And of course, guys, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And I want you to be aware, guys, because I'm going to be talking about on Friday. I have a live coming up on Friday where we're going to be getting a little bit deeper into the HUD layoff discussion. I want you guys to join me there as well. And of course, guys, if you have any additional questions that will take me less than a minute to answer, go to mentorshelly.com/contact where you can leave me a voicemail or an email message, and I'm more than happy to return that voicemail or email within 24 hours. I want you guys to be successful in the virtual interview space. I want you guys to be successful in your careers, period. So that's why I'm here to help you to become a better professional. All right, guys, take care, and you have a good one. Bye.